Well, he should be there, because obviously. And she should be over here, obviously. Who the hell is this? Is this what Jeremy is supposed to look like when he grows up? And then Warlagan. Oh my god. Oh my god, Warlagan. Hello, welcome to Books to Huda! Today, this is a video that has been coming for a long time. Actually, ever since February 21st. This video I am calling Poldark Phase 1 because I just finished the 4th book of Poldark 2 or 3 days ago. And if you follow me on any social media, you know that my entire life since February 21st at about 6 p.m. has been Poldark, and that's it. So I've got many notes here because I don't want to miss a thing. Ugh. I did a cosplay as Demelza. I shot to look as much like her as possible. You know, I didn't have really a costume on hand. I just kind of went with what I could find in my closet. I think it turned out okay. And then of course I also bought this blanket at IKEA the day before, and it actually worked out really well for Demelza's scarlet cloak. So this video, non-spoilery section where I just talk about the basic plot, who the characters are, and kind of my relationship with the beginning of the series. So this is gonna be a long one, probably. What is Poldark? You may not know. Poldark is a show on BBC and Masterpiece Theatre in America. Yeah, this is like the worst picture that they could have chosen, which still, I mean, he's a gorgeous man, right? Let's just get that out of the way. This is Aidan Turner. He plays Ross Poldark. No one could do it better. No one. Apple did a podcast where they interviewed him. I have watched it once because it also has a video. I've listened to it another time and half of another time with my friend Kendra. Okay, so Poldark is a show that I heard about when I was still in grad school because that was when season 1 was airing in Britain, and I told my cubicle mate at the time, I was like, there's this show that I'm really excited about because it has this guy from Being Human that I really like, and he plays Keeley in Lord of the Rings, or in The Hobbit, and I just think he's great. And she was like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, and but I couldn't get my hands on it. Like, you couldn't buy the episodes, and I didn't want to shell out for the Blu-ray in case it wasn't any good. On February 21st, I saw that it had gone onto Amazon Prime, which I have a subscription to. I had a horrible day. I watched 5 episodes of Poldark in a row, and I almost watched the entire series in one night because I was that obsessed with it at the time, and my house was to myself. Which is very good. I should not have watched that with anyone else in the room. Because my reactions to what was happening, that show grabbed me in such a way. Like, I have not been grabbed by a show like that in a very, very long time. You know, my Once Upon a Time thing is one thing. That was just kind of like, you know, that I realized that is not a good show. Like, it's an entertaining show and I love it to bits, but it is not a good show. It's just a fun show. Poldark is magnificent. Like, it is, the characters are wonderful. The original novels are wonderful. I have 7 of them, but there are 12 in total. I'm on the 5th one now. And the writing is I was not expecting it to be as brilliant as it is. Like, it is so much more readable than the Outlander novels. I'm still stuck in the middle of Dragonfly and Amber. I was hoping that would not happen with the Poldark books, and it did not. This writing is magnificent. There is a reason Winston Graham has 40 published novels, because he's fucking brilliant. Bleep! So, I'll try to get some violin noises to get over that. Because violins, cliffs, horse riding, brooding. And so I woke up, had my coffee, and just started to write in on Poldark. I was like, okay, I need to finish this because, like, I was so obsessed I could barely sleep. Like, all I could see in my head were the characters. So I woke up and finished the series, and then I was just like, well, what do I do with my life now? Started again. Yes, I binge watched it twice in a week. I should probably tell you what it's about, shouldn't I? So, Poldark is this person. As you can see, he's kind of in a military uniform. This takes place beginning in 1789, I want to say. Oh, 1783. Poldark, Ross, has just come back from the American Revolutionary War. He's English, and, you know, the British have lost. But he comes back expecting his girlfriend, his, like, unofficial fiance Elizabeth, to still be waiting for him, and he shows up at her engagement dinner to his cousin Francis. he shows up and is all excited about Elizabeth, and then she's engaged to his cousin. And basically she decides to marry Francis anyway, even though she still loves Ross too. And Ross is obviously pissed off about it, but he decides to stay in the area, even though his uncle tries to buy him off to get him out of here, you know, to get him away from Cornwall, which is where this takes place. But Ross is like, no, I'm going to try to resurrect the mines that my dad used to work for money, because I owe a debt to the people who live on my land. You know, I owe this to try to make them jobs. In the first episode, he meets Demelza, which in the book, it takes a while for her to show up. And this show was done before in the 70s, which is when this book started coming out. These, like the extra books, because Winston Graham apparently wrote the first 4 kind of in a row in the early 50s, and like I can see that those were just like those were the original set. Like the end of the 4th book could be the end of a series, it could be, but there are still things to develop, obviously, since there are 8 more books, thank God. If there were only 4 books, I don't know what I would do with myself. He meets Demelza, and she's a very poor person from another town. She has a dog named Garrick, who's lovely. And in the book, he's a black dog, but in the show, he's not. And Ross kind of... he doesn't adopt her, but he's like, hey, I need a kitchen maid. You know, but don't come in my house if you have fleas. And so Demelza, who wants to get away from her abusive father, is like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. And things go from there. So that is the end of the non-spoilery Poldark video. If you have seen, you know, the first season of Poldark and you want to know what happens in books 3 and 4, so you're ready for what happens in season 2, or if you have read all of the books and you know more than I do, then, you know, come on to the next video with me. Because that one is going to be all spoilery, and it will be full of fangirling me, which I know some of you enjoy. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Hello to my new subscribers, and Bookstahuda! I write, damn it, Graham! Graham and I have a conversation. Yes, he's dead, but I still talk to him, and yeah, through my notes. And Demelza has a very difficult name to get at first. Like, when I went to sleep that night, I still wasn't absolutely sure what her name was. It was like Delmaza? You know? No, it's Demelza, Sandy. And there's a hilarious BuzzFeed article about the first 2 episodes. It's perfect. It encapsulates all my thoughts perfectly. There is a hilarious Instagram account called Mean Poldark, where they put pictures of Poldark, the show, and Mean Girls quotes, and it's fantastic. If you've seen both things and you enjoy both things, you should look at them. You will laugh really hard. Oh, I should. To imitate Aiden himself. Poldark, Season 2, Take 468. We're done. Just kidding. This is the beginning.